Hi, how's your day going? I really want to replay Pokemon Colosseum for years, but I can't because I lost my original copy. That sucks because there's no legal way to buy another copy without pirating it. I'm glad Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door was remastered for the Switch a year ago. I would like to replay that game again. I was not planning on 100%ing the game. Maybe I will next playthrough, which makes me want to replay Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness, which I haven't replayed for months. Yet I want to return to my playthrough of Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness on the GameCube. Not yet, but sometime soon. If only I can replay Pokemon Colosseum, but I can't because I lost my copy. And I'm not spending hundreds of dollars to purchase an old copy. Why hasn't Nintendo or the Pokemon Company ported these two Pokemon games to the Switch or the Switch 2? Pokemon Colosseum was released on the Nintendo GameCube back during when Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire were still the new games, when there were only 386 Pokemon. Man, that was 20 years ago. I'm old. I really want to replay Pokemon Colosseum, but I'm not willing to download ROMs on the internet. It's just there's no way to legally buy it. But if Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door can get a remastered, then surely this old game can as well, right? So, what is Pokemon Colosseum exactly? Pokemon Colosseum was originally released for the Nintendo GameCube back in 2003. The game was a different experience to mainline Pokemon games. You play as an ex-Team Snag'em member named Wes, whose goal is to steal Shadow Pokemon and defeat Shyfer. What are Shadow Pokemon? Shadow Pokemon are Pokemon who've been corrupted and had their hearts shielded. As such, the main gimmick of this game is to steal the Shadow Pokemon. That's right, steal or snag. To force this gimmick on the player's throat, there's no wild Pokemon encounters at all. The only party Pokemon you will find are the Shadow Pokemon you catch and purified. I'm also hoping Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness gets a remaster too. Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness is the sequel to Pokemon Colosseum and has many improvements that make it better in some ways from Pokemon Colosseum. I would like both games to be remastered someday. I won't go too in-depth since that may require its own video in exploring this large gem from 20 years ago. There are hundreds of other videos and playthroughs of the game that explain the game better than I can. I would recommend watching Chuggaaconroy's playthrough. It's a decade old, but he explored and explained everything this game has to offer. This is not a sponsorship or anything. Pokemon Colosseum would benefit if it got a remastered. I could talk all day about what work needs to happen, but I'm not a game developer. I would just be content if Pokemon Colosseum received a remastered, like what Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door received. Though unlike that game, some changes may be drastic. Pokemon Colosseum had two modes. One was the story, and the other was an arena mode. Just to be clear, I don't remember. It's been years since I last played it, and now I can't because someone sold the only copy I had. And no, I'm not spending hundreds of dollars on an old copy. I'd rather wait for a port or remaster, even if that possibility is just a fantasy. It would be too difficult finding a copy of Pokemon Colosseum that works and not get scammed in the process. And no, I'm not interested in downloading a ROM online because that's sketchy due to corporations and legal documents making owning a piece of media a nightmare and continue life into hell if they want to. Like I said earlier, I also want Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness ported as well. This game is a sequel to Pokemon Colosseum, which I said many times already. In fact, I want both games remastered. Explaining Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness will require its own video, and I can't explain it right now. But there are hundreds of videos on YouTube you can research that explain this game better than I can. I recommend watching Chuggaaconroy's Let's Play on this game. No, this is not not a sponsorship. I'm not sure if the ports would ever happen though. I'm hoping since Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door got a remaster, these two old Pokemon games from the GameCube era would get remasters also. However, I don't expect this to happen anytime soon. I have important stuff I must take care of, and I'm not fanatically waiting for this. It all boils down to if Pokemon Colosseum and its sequel XD would sell well on the Switch or the Switch 2. Pokemon Colosseum would need to be remade drastically, unlike Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door. Pokemon Colosseum's graphics and models look dated nowadays. Not a bad thing if you prefer the old games, but if ported to Switch or Switch 2 will need an overhaul. Pokemon Colosseum will greatly benefit getting new models while staying true to the original. I've been all over the place and I did not do a good job explaining why these two GameCube games should get a remastered, because Pokemon Colosseum and Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness are two gem Pokemon titles that deserve a remastered that Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door and other ports got. I could see myself playing Pokemon Colosseum on my Switch or Switch 2 in my mind, but I know that it won't be a reality. If you support porting Pokemon Colosseum and Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness to Switch or Switch 2, maybe a written statement to Nintendo might work. I honestly believe Arlostuff's video on porting Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door years ago worked. So if something similar happened, maybe it could work. Asking Nintendo could work if there's enough interest for such a game. It's better to try than fail than not try and dream of what if. Also, a different company could develop remasters for Pokemon Colosseum and XD Gale of Darkness. Plenty of remasters, such as Luigi's Mansion for 3DS and Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, would develop from different companies than the original developers who worked on the original games. Mario and Luigi series is another example. Alpha Dream went bankrupt and ceased to exist. Yet because the series is still popular, another company developed a new sequel for the Switch. While I don't believe this will ever happen, at least people should try to message Nintendo or send a petition like Arlo did years ago, but I would only do that if thousands of other people would buy the game. But that won't happen because only a niche group would support porting Pokemon Colosseum and Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness. I doubt the Pokemon company would remaster this game if no one else was interested, but oh well, shame on me for wanting a remaster. This is a Planet game that I can't legally buy because there's no legal way to buy without getting scammed online.